So wild.
Are you guys ready to get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
All right. What's good?
What's good?
This is the crew, the We Outside crew.
You already know, we outside.
If everyone would like to introduce themselves.
Bruno.
I'm Jen.
Patrick.
And I'm John. As you know.
John Matos. Matos.
Either one,
Matos.
yeah. I mean, hey, it's all up to preference, you know?
Yeah.
People usually get mad when, like I have a buddy named Joe. His last name is DiStefano, but I know a guy who used to go by DiStefano.
DiStefano.
Stefano.
Yo, you know there's going to be a DiStefano on Long Island.
And so, like, we were on the LIRR one time, and we just got into, like, this massive debate about, like, Mario versus Mario. DiStefano versus DiStefano.
Oh.
And it was, like, a whole thing, and all these New Yorkers were like, yeah, what the fuck?
What do I say Mario. What do you say? You say Mario?
Mario.
Yeah, I'm a Mario guy.
Yeah.
So
Brooklynites, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LARR. I can't remember the last time I took that LARR.
You can drink on there, right? Like they have bar. They have
No,
like a little
there's
bar?
no
They don't
bar,
have
but
bar.
there's...
Isn't there a bar?
What are you thinking? This is something.
I know. What the
It's only one step above the MTA. That's it. This
No,
is
I'm
some
just saying,
shit.
like, I
kinda
think
true.
you guys have like a bar before you can go in with a little thing, right? Don't they have like a little bar?
I mean, if you're going with a
covered,
brown
yeah.
paper bag, and you chug.
Yeah, that's
New
the
York
thing
shit.
is like the fucking, you know, the people out here who go to like Mets games and like whatever, like not Islanders anymore, but like when they go into the games, they'll take like a paper bag with like Miller Lights, Tall Boys, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
and they'll be chugging them on the train.
Yeah, but I could have sworn there was like drinks on the train. No, never mind. Wrong
That might be
train.
Amtrak.
Yeah, Amtrak.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
yeah,
Amtrak right there.
You Jersey girl.
Cut that out.
So yeah, you all are pretty active in the anti-mandate movement, is what
Yes.
I would call it myself.
Yeah.
How would you guys describe it?
Yeah, anti-mandate. Don't get it twisted because we actually have
Just pull the mic a little bit. Sorry.
we actually have.
See, that's why he needs this mic. And I
Do you want to switch mics?
No.
No, I mean you can pull it. You can lean back.
Don't worry, it's not that sensitive.
Testing 1 2 3. No, we actually a lot of people get it twisted because we've seen it. You know, these people come out with some articles. Some of them are pretty known articles like New York Times and shit like that. And the Post has been a little flip floppy. And they'll label us as anti-vaxxers, which is it's funny because we actually have people who are vaccinated in the marches and the movement. So,
But the crazy thing is, like, if you think about it, the title is not wrong because you're anti-vax for yourself.
I'm anti.
Vax for yourself.
I'm anti-vax for myself, but this vax, I'm not anti like all
okay,
vax
okay,
because I
yeah.
feel like
Okay,
I
gotcha.
feel like when
That's
you-
me.
Yeah, I
You're
feel like
anti-vax
I'm
everything.
anti. Yeah, after
Right.
after all the studies I've done,
Yeah.
like going down the rabbit hole, because obviously this whole pandemic really brings you down the rabbit hole because you start wondering, all right, so if this is fake, what else is this? You know, and you
Right,
start
right,
going down it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get that.
I went down that vaccine like rabbit hole, and now
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
No,
I guess I'm a
I get it.
non-judgmental vaxxer. Like, if you decide to take it, then that's on you. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not mad at you. I'm gonna be worried for you a little bit, but overall, I'm not like, well, I can't hang out with you.
right. Yeah,
Even though now people are shedding and making others that are not vaccinated sick, which is not proven, right? It's not like a
Right.
proven thing, but I mean, I don't know.
I think shedding's real.
I think
You think shedding's real?
I
Yeah,
think shedding's real. I think it actually happened
Okay.
within my family, but I'm not even gonna go into that. You know?
Oh boy.
You got all the
Yeah.
women reporting everything too.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just, to get back to your question, I think the best way to label us is just freedom fighters.
Yeah,
We're just,
freedom
'cause that's
fighters.
all. It's like Bruno said, we don't care if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. We're just standing for our freedom of choice to just do what we want with our own body.
100%.
I just think that's what this is mostly about. It's like, if you let this go, then when is it going to stop? How far can they tell us what to do? And I always like say this in my interviews. It's like we all pay taxes. We all get our licenses to drive. We all get birth certificates. We all get social securities. You know, we do things that are in accordance to to being in society, right?
Yep.
Like, so now the only thing I have is my body. Right. So that's the only thing I have control over, because I clearly don't have control over red light or stop sign. Hence driving.
Taxes.
You know, there's a speed limit. I follow that. Well, I try to, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Abide by the law.
so
I'm calling cap on that one. Nobody follows the speed limit in this state.
I was not following the speed limit on my
all
way
right, well,
here.
you know what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is, like, the only thing you have in life really is your body.
You're born with
so
that.
it's just like, if you want to get a tattoo, that's fine. You want to get a boob job, that's your business.
Yep.
But like, now, in order for me to participate in society, now I have to put something in my body to prove that I'm being patriotic.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I draw the line, and I just need something for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I also always say, today it's a vaccine, tomorrow you let them get away with this, it opens Pandora's box. So today's the
100%.
vaccine, tomorrow it'll be something else that doesn't align with your views. So, you know, if you don't fight with us now, then something may come about from this that sets precedence for that you may not agree with, and then you're a little too late. And then who do you want to fight with you? I mean, are we going to fight with you when you didn't fight with us? I mean, I think we would. I think we still would, but it shouldn't get to that point, you know?
I couldn't agree more.
I
Honestly.
just feel too that, like, all this that's happening, that people are not getting their exemptions on religion and their medical exemptions, is almost like a slap in the face, where we've been living in a country that, like, prides itself on diversity and all that good stuff, and then now, like, it doesn't matter what your religion is. So then I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
like,
that shit kills
were
me.
Were we lied to? Like, did we really never have freedom? We just were. Were we like the other countries, the communist countries? Just we gave the illusion of freedom.
Right, yeah.
You know.
I don't think so personally. I just think that, you know, people have gotten too complacent. You know, because this would never fly in the 60s.
Yeah.
No, hell no.
Like this would never fly back
Yeah,
then.
but it wouldn't fly. It doesn't fly too much in Long Island.
Well,
Think
I mean,
about it.
But
the parents here, they're not trying to mask their kids, right?
Well, I mean, but a lot do. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, because a lot of, exactly. And it's just all about, oh, but you know, it's all good. Like they can't be forever. You know, they can't do it forever. It's just like, they got to go to school. All right, well then send them to school without the mask. Get a whole bunch of parents together.
Yeah.
And form a group and tell them, yo, we got to have our kids just wear no masks in school.
I mean, it just cracks me up with the mask, though. Like, they just came out that the cloth masks don't work, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Like, if the cloth masks don't work, don't give me that pile of shit that the surgical masks work, because the surgical masks were not meant for that. The surgical masks were meant for blood splatter, and half the people are wearing it incorrectly. You know, they're open on the side.
Yeah.
These are airborne particles, right? With what they say, it's getting through the surgical mask. And if you feel the surgical mask protect you and that they work, then you shouldn't be bothered if someone else isn't wearing it, because it should be working for you, right? And
100%.
You know?
Well, did you guys see the article on the it loses 90% of its I forgot what the terminology is, but basically 90% of it, 90% of its effectiveness in the air. So once it like leaves a person's mouth, there's only a 10% chance it's gonna transmit.
Well, yeah, you have to be.
So it must be living on surfaces now.
No, that's the thing, is that, you know,
It doesn't live on surfaces.
No.
It can't live on surfaces. They've proven that.
Yeah, like I remember.
So where's it coming from?
The air.
Yeah, right.
But it's a matter of long-term exposure, though. Like, if you're in a room with someone for, you know, 3 hours plus, versus you walk into, you know, you're walking through a hallway and you pass somebody with it, chances are you're not gonna, you know, contract the disease.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if
they exaggerate it.
if you're sitting with them in a closed space, like in a small space, and like your face is close and you're touching your face and whatever else, and no masks, even though they don't work,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
then you're probably gonna get it.
That study alone just destroys the narrative, because if there's already a 10% chance of you getting it from it being in the air, why are you wearing a mask that you're just, again, trapping your own air, your carbon dioxide?
It's all
into your
about
own
just
mask.
keeping, you know, like for a lot of people, it's just like a matter of comfortability.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it goes back to the whole like emotion over logic thing, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Yes.
You know, because people
Emotional
just
thing.
want like this whole thing to end, and the whole mass formation psychosis has been, if you wear your mask and if you get the vaccine, it's going to end.
Yeah.
But like, you know, more and more every single day. I think actually people are starting to wake up and see that it's kind of cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Not accept this new normal bullshit.
Yeah, this. whoever came up with that term, the new normal.
I don't.
Like that's such a genius. I gotta be. It's genius.
Yeah, it's the words. Yeah. It's the wordplay that they program into our heads. You know, when we could return back to normal. Just all we need to do is just give you the key to New York and you'll return back to normal. You know, it's just like that constant. It's like dangling a Twinkie in front of a fat kid, having him run on the treadmill. You know,
that's a fact. No, it's too funny.
But the messaging now is becoming, well, we're gonna have to start like if you listen to Fox, their messaging is we're gonna have to start living with this. Like we need to start living with this, which is different from CNN. The messaging is, we need more vaccines. Da, 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 da. So it just depends on what you're letting into your mind.
I think if people turn the TV off,
oh my God,
that would make a big difference.
I need to look at the TV. I'll be honest with you. I have to look at it. I have to look at it because if I don't, as a business owner, I got to see what's happening. So like when people like turn off the TV, yes, I can turn, like when I look at the TV, I know exactly what not to do, and that's to like create, like what they're telling me and like believe it.
Yeah.
But I have to be like kind of on it. You got it? Know what I mean? Like we have to kind of be on it so we know what's going on in a sense. Not that it's true, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you have to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
The bullshit they're putting out there.
I mean, I'll give it to you. Sometimes you do really have to pay attention. Like with world events. Yeah. Like obviously, we want to keep a quick eye on North Korea. Yeah. You never know what's going on over there.
What's going on with Russia and Ukraine right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I have a feeling like we're probably already in war and we all don't know it.
You're not far off. I'm sure.
I'm sure.
It's almost a Cold War at this point. Because there's no shots fired type of thing.
Or even like what's the status with Afghanistan now? Even that like all.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's like, and that's the problem with this whole like just quick exit. It's out of sight, out of mind now.
Yeah, I remember when I was growing up, though. I mean, when the Gulf War happened, when people were in Iraq, I saw, like, actual, like, reporters in the trenches. Like, I remember those days where you were, like, able to see, like, a missile being thrown from wherever it was being thrown. Yeah. Like, when I was a kid, I saw that. Now, I don't see that. That's, like, crazy.
Well, you're talking about with the reporting.
Back in the day.
Yes, yeah.
Like they would be at the actual war.
Yeah.
With the soldiers and all that.
Yeah, well, journalists can't even decide their gender nowadays. So you expect them to fucking be in the trenches?
Like they used to be in the trenches. Like I used to see missiles. Like, oh my gosh, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, it's a tough world, especially and now we have like a lot of like remote drones where.
Right.
They're the ones doing the real killing.
Right. Yeah.
Not so much the soldiers now.
Yes. Who's to say that there's anybody ever flying the planes or anything they're shooting around? You know what I'm saying? Like it is all. They've been working on a remote control commercial airline since after the World War II. So they've been working on it.
They had this shit. They've had a lot of this shit has been here.
All the technology we get and we're like, oh my God, it's so advanced. It's so this. Nah, they've had that 10 years ago. Like they're 10, 20 years ahead of us.
They're probably ahead of us right now.
They got laser beams, lightsabers. They're having lightsaber battles.
Imagine. Yeah. Man, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Guess I got to start looking back into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Jen with her M&Ms.
Listen, peanut M&Ms.
I'm having a hard day today.
What's up with you? Why are you having a hard day today,
Jen? I'm having a hard day. It's a Saturday. I just feel like it's a Monday.
I feel that. Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, you're a healthcare worker.
Yeah.
Was that the whole spawn of you joining the movement?
That's what got me in. I had my cousin who works for New York Presbyterian text me saying New York Presbyterian, which was the first hospital in New York to enforce the mandate for the vaccine. She said, we just got this email. She sent me the email, and the outpatient radiology facility I was working for, we have an affiliation with them.
We heard your story already.
Listen, I know. Yeah, I know. It's like, no, I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's literally what started. So I had all my other coworkers that were sleeping on this, and I said, this is gonna eventually hit us, because we're affiliated with them, but it's probably gonna hit all hospitals in New York, and look where we're at today. And this, I want to say, she shared this email with me. This was in June of 2021, and so I went to my first rally, and that was in Washington Heights at Columbia Presbyterian, and the 1199 rally, the union, I was like, this is a fake protest. I said, they're over here saying no mandate, but educate. And I'm looking at these people. I'm like, you realize they're calling you dumb, right? They're saying you're not educated enough, to put a vaccine into your body that you're not comfortable with. That, listen, I was probably one of the only few white people at the rally. Majority of the people were minorities, and rightfully so. The minority community has a reason to not trust the government, especially when it comes to big pharma and these drugs, because they were used and experimented on with a lot of these fucking drugs, which ended up, going into a slippery slope and lawsuits and all this other shit. So I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, they're saying like they're essentially saying you're dumb for not coming to the realization that you have to have this vaccine in order to work in healthcare. And I think what really pissed me off was, since the outbreak, being on the front lines, they didn't have any protection for us, no PPE, and PPE I mean face shields, N95s, gowns. All we had was the bullshit surgical blue mask. And I remember I was near Elmhurst Hospital. For those that don't know, Elmhurst Hospital is the epicenter of New York, which was the epicenter of the country with COVID cases. And so when those patients weren't going to the ER at Elmhurst Hospital, they were being sent to the outpatient facility I was at. And I'm face to face with COVID patients. And I remember one day I was with my coworkers and I literally scanned 3 COVID patients back to back to back. And I was with talking to one of the doctors, and we can see when I'm scanning them, COVID present in their lungs. And he's like, yeah, it's COVID positive. And so I said to my head admins he's the admin of operations. I said to him, I said, hey, we're face to face with COVID patients here with no PPE. He's like, oh, well, as long as you have your mask on and you disinfected the room, you're good. I said, oh, that's really? I said, so now it was okay. We weren't a threat to the health and safety of the public or, fellow employees. But when we had no equipment, then when we got the PPE equipment, we're a threat if we don't get the vaccine. It just made no sense to me. Yep. So I said, fuck this shit. Like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Like, they're making this shit up as it goes, and it's all about politics, and it's all about, convenience for them. Like we're seeing now with healthcare workers, you can work. You could go back to work positive. So you fire the healthy, negative COVID healthcare worker, but you let the positive vaccinated employee come back to work to be near patients. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I think some people are waking up that took the jab to these guidelines being all flip-floppy and hypocritical. And, I like it. If they don't, here's the thing, the Supreme Court, a lot of people were celebrating with the Supreme Court's recent ruling, but it wasn't a win for the healthcare workers.
Not at all.
And if the healthcare workers, they have a second chance right now to stay in the line. And I actually had a few reach out to me throughout this week saying they don't want to get the booster. So they're going to fire more people. And it's crazy that people that got 2 shots are considered unvaccinated like us that got nothing. So what a slap in the face, massive, dude. And I'm like, shit, like you're now considered unvaccinated like me. I didn't put anything into my body and you put two shots into your body. Like, when are people going to wake the fuck up here? And, so like now's the time for healthcare workers to stand up, and anyone that's debating it, you should really look into this and think, because if you let this go and you don't stand up and fight this, you forever, as a healthcare worker, will let the government moving forward dictate what the fuck goes into your body in order for you to keep your job. And how the fuck anybody could be okay with that and not see the dangers and the wrongdoing with the infringement of our bodily autonomy. Like, it's mind-blowing to me that there's still people that are that blind or turning a blind eye to it.
No, 100%, man. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, it's just too funny though, because like for the past how many years now with abortion, it's always my body, my choice.
What happened to that?
Yeah,
that's another one. The my body, my choice people. Oh man, are they wishy-washy with that shit?
So floppity with that. It's not even.
Dude, it's like the craziest part to me is that people are getting this shot knowing that there's a risk to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They actively know that they're taking a risk by getting the shot, but they're
A
just like,
risk and no liabilities.
And no,
no liabilities. I mean,
as much of a
yeah,
shit.
thanks, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
No liabilities.
Ronald Reagan, yes.
That motherfucker.
As much of a shithole Australia is right now, Australia actually, I don't know if you could confirm this, Pat, but I heard something that Australia was going to compensate people if they got injured from the vaccine. There was something I was reading. I can't quote it exactly.
Well, when they're on their 5th shot, they're all gonna be dead anyway.
Yeah, right, all dropping down. I
What's
mean,
the number?
God
What's the
forbid,
number
God
over here?
forbid.
Oh, God forbid, really.
I know. I don't know about the Australia, unless this is Australia that I read, and I'm mixing it around. But I do remember hearing something about there being a compensation for only up to 500K,
Oh.
which is like
that's not that bad.
I would take
I'll take
500K
it.
in a heartbeat. Yeah.
500K.
But
Think
do you
that's
value
in-
your life at
At
500K?
this point,
Yeah.
who cares? I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So, Jen,
Yes.
did you start the We Outside page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started it.
Oh, you both started.
Well,
or all three of you.
I was like, we need to. I told Bruno, we need to do something where, because me and Bruno, we both have like responsibilities, and everybody who is in the movement has responsibilities. But I feel like a lot of people don't get to speak their mind, and there's a lot of like great stories that we don't get because we're also like busy. But what we wanted to do was get something going where just we let anybody on the show. So it's not like if you have this many followers. I mean, it's great when you have this many followers, obviously, but like you really don't have to have a following. You can just be somebody who's just wants to speak out. I feel like this is why people are not speaking out, because they don't have a platform that's
don't have a voice.
non-judgmental or whatever you want to call it. So I was like, we need to do something like that. And then I was just like, he said, yeah, let's do it. And then I was just like, but we don't have a name. And so it just so happened, I think it was Mama Bruno. Who was videoing?
My mom, yeah.
His mom was videoing us, and
We were walking in the city in the March.
and I was like, we outside, because I seen this girl say it, and I was like, we outside. So then I was like, Bruno, we're gonna do this show, but we don't have a name. He was like, why don't we just call it We Outside? And I was
That's
like,
fire.
and I was like,
By the way, this one does not. My voice is close to hers. She doesn't need a megaphone when we're out on the streets. All these people like with their megaphones and bullhorns, and then Jen, her voice fucking echoes.
the
throughout
megaphone just makes me shy. It's weird. The megaphone just it really does.
I
Like
get
I'm just
that.
like, oh my
It's
god,
true.
did I say it
Remember
wrong?
when you took it, you're like,
I was like-
second guessing yourself with the
Even
megaphone.
this is hard for me. Right? I'm like, ugh.
When we were in Albany, there were people that were hearing us, and they're like, "Damn, they're loud." And then Jen really echoes. So the one guy was like, "You want my megaphone because you're so loud?" And Jen was like, "I don't know what to do with this. I'm just
I'm
used
like,
to my
I don't
voice."
know what to do with this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Spanish people.
Spanish people. Yeah, and everybody was on our page was like, "Oh, your voice is gonna be out tomorrow."
Well, what happened was I got blocked from doing lives for like a month.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh.
maybe a month and a half, because I shared a fucking graphic that we have one of our freedom fighters with us. His name's Rich. You might have seen him in New York Freedom Rally. He's the one with the drums. He's always banging the drums. So Rich is actually like a graphic designer. So Rich shared me this graphic design of de Blasio being fucking Hitler. So I shared this shit.
no.
I shared his fucking design in my live, and
You got it.
and Instagram fucking flagged
You
me.
got
And
got.
I went against Instagram's guidelines sharing this fucking graphic of de Blasio. So they blocked me from doing lives, and then a month and a half later, I was happened to be driving in my car, and I said, let me just see if lives are going on, because I never did lives like that. I never went on to do lives to talk to people or any of that
Me
shit.
either.
And then I was on my live, and I was like, oh shit, my live's back working. And then Jen caught me on the live. So then me and Jen, it became a thing throughout the week. When I left work, I just hop on the live, and then Jen came up with the idea, like, yo, let's start something, and that's how, and then we got into the conversation of the name and all that shit. Yeah.
So yeah.
I like that. That's
But
pretty cool.
we noticed too, like Jen was saying before, there's a lot of social media influencers, people that have that big following, the platform, but they only ever engage or talk with other people that have big followings. They don't really give anybody else a chance to get on the live to have a voice. So we
Yeah.
wanted to hear everybody's stories of how they were affected by this. You know, people that are outside, people who are inside that want to come outside, but they're a little bit shy and reserved. People who maybe came out and were vocal, and you know, like you were someone that were vocal, and you had your video that like, you know, I just remember coming across it and people, I was like, holy shit, this is hilarious, and we need more people.
I think I seen it after I got doxxed. I was like, oh man, I feel bad for his job.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man,
suck my dick.
Anytime I see people that I know on, I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
And I remember just like looking in the background, like I don't know, like the girls that were in the fucking arena, like they're all like laughing. They're like, oh shit, everybody like behind you and the fucking who's the guy that was interviewing? What do you call him? Like
just the interviewer.
The ring announcer.
The referee.
Yeah.
No, the ring announcer would be the guy like Bruce Buffer. You know what I mean? Bruce Buffer would be the ring announcer.
So I just
It's time.
That was epic.
That's more of like the commentator.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, no.
Nah, it just flowed, man. I'm telling you.
I remember I was like, yo, I'm sharing the shit out of this. And
I was like, yo, his career is over.
Nah, it only just started at that moment.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But yeah, we wanted to give people a chance to share their stories and, you know, just have a voice and get people to, you know, try to come outside. You know,
Yep.
she's had a few people come to her businesses from watching our show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. People come through. They're like, oh, I came because like we were doing the common law signatures, which is something that one of our somebody who's in our group that's
Fellow
her
freedom fighter.
That's her initiative, and basically common law is another law. I don't know too much information on it. I should do better with that. But
Yeah.
she had like hubs where you would come in and people would need to sign in person. You couldn't do it online. So people were like, oh, I can't because I saw it on We Outside and stuff like that.
Essentially, it's like the people coming together, signing this
common law declaration,
yeah, saying like, you know, we don't agree with this, like the bullshit mandates, you know. And
So yeah.
And did you guys submit that to the state government, or
She's still working on
she's
it.
still collecting signatures.
I'm
in
actually
the
still
process.
collecting signatures
Oh, he
myself.
does.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
do.
know about
Nice.
this.
I mean, I could give a
shit?
quick
I'll
rundown.
fucking sign that thing.
I actually have it. We could.
Oh, yeah.
There we
Unless
go.
you want to catch it in the podcast.
Nah, I don't want them to have too much evidence on me.
Nah. So.
Oh, you have it? You be walking around with it?
Yeah, leave it in my car.
Oh my gosh.
You know how Patrick works. Patrick's always.
because, like me, like my girl goes out and like does her field work.
You
and
mean your
stuff,
wife?
you know.
Stop.
But we have 2 kids, so
Pause.
she could be
His baby
my wife.
mama.
Yeah, I said it one time and she was like, "That sounds so hood rat."
His baby mama.
Nah, but you'd be surprised by some people you run into just being on the street.
Yeah.
So I try to keep that on me because some people be, you know, it's because it's $21 because $21 secures like your fundamental constitutional rights. So by sending this to the court, you're binding them to our contract, which is the common law contract. And the common law, the whole idea of common law, from what I believe, my understanding of it, is that these are your common rights. These are your God-given rights, right? So your right over your bodily autonomy and so forth. You know, your right for a religion and stuff, a right to speak.
Yeah.
It kind of falls in line with the constitutional rights, but it's more your God-given rights. It's the best way I could really explain it.
And we all have it in common. Like nobody here, there's like no loopholes to it because we're all like man and woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
And we would address ourselves
And it
as men.
and they and zer and zim.
Right. Yeah, no pronouns. Just straight man and woman.
It's because
Wait, but then how would that work with... Let me shut up.
it's because
A lot of people are very picky with the signs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that it has to do with, because of the fact of like these whole mandates and what they're trying to enforce and everything, they're operating under maritime law, not common law is what I believe it would be, which is like the land law.
How are they operating on the law?
maritime?
How?
We're not at sea. So why are they treating us like we're in a maritime position? You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
That's
It's
the
real
argument.
deep.
Yeah,
it's real
it goes
deep.
crazy.
Yeah.
It goes
It's real
crazy.
deep. Like
You wanna
even
get
when
into
you're
that?
like stopped by a police officer, you're not supposed to say I understand, because once you say you understand, basically you're telling the police that whatever he's saying is correct as far as if you're breaking a law.
Right,
So you're
because-
supposed to say I hear you.
Exactly.
you're not supposed to be like, well, yes, I understand. Do you understand?
Think about when you sign, well, not when you sign, but like on your phone, when you do the terms and agreements, when you check the box, it says, I understand the terms and agreements, because you're locking yourself into their contract. So
and now I'm fucked.
And yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
so like a business, when they put that key to New York fucking sign, that is a fucking contract in a sense, because you just fucking put it up. So every time a business puts the key to fucking New York on their door, you're just basically saying, I agree.
I agree with the contract.
She got fined already from De Blasio's key to New York City. That's a whole. When De Blasio sat, in front of all of us to say, like, in order for you to enjoy the perks of New York City, you gotta get you gotta comply, get the key to New York City, and that's the fucking vaccine. And then
while eating Shake Shack,
while eating Shake Shack and fucking Krispy Kreme donuts and shit.
Yeah.
And the messaging in that was, well, going to a restaurant, going to these places, these fitness places, blah blah blah. Those are luxuries, and I was just like, wow.
But in a sense, it highlights.
Is it a luxury?
How because it highlights how
we don't have to do
how messed up the system is the best way I could say it. Because you got like the constitutional rights, you got the Bill of Rights, blah blah blah, and all this. But they've written over time other things that override that. So
but I don't believe that they override them though. I don't believe that they do.
Well, that's where you have court. That's where you bring it to court and you battle back and forth. But they the legal definitions and stuff that they put, they make you, every citizen of the United States is in debt to the United States.
Right.
So when you're born, you get the birth certificate, you get Social
debt.
Security. You're in debt to them because they valued your life at $2 million, right? Because they include like, you're gonna get a medium level job, middle class job. You're gonna get this health insurance, this and that. So they label you already on what you're gonna do with your life. Oh, we got to pay for his school. He's gonna go to elementary school, daycare, and stuff like that. So that's how they value you.
Did you go to daycare?
No, actually, I didn't start school till
the kindergarten. So then
kindergarten.
you were a little bit less money.
Yeah, I'm a little cheaper.
Yeah, cheaper.
I didn't go to daycare.
I definitely was expensive.
I didn't go to daycare either.
Oh, I did.
Classic Italian family. Grandma came to watch. You know.
Yep.
Nah, daycare.
It's that traditional European
from
shit,
9 to 6 p.m.
But I just don't like understand how nowadays we've gotten so far off with not only just our personal rights, but just economically to the point where now both parents have to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's unbelievable.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Because I'm a more traditional guy. I grew up in a very traditional family. In fact, though, honestly, my mom worked and my dad really didn't. But that's a whole nother story. But it was always like family watched over the kids,
right,
and would bring them to the park, and like that's how you would socialize. You wouldn't socialize at daycare.
Yep, exactly.
You'd socialize at the park, and then you would go to pre-K, and you would still come home and be with the family.
Yeah.
And whoever needed to watch you would watch you, but it would always be in the family.
That's how my family did it.
I was kind of like that too.
Personally, I think that's so important for the kids' development.
It's a certain bond with because I'm a father, so it's such a different bond because me and my girl always talked about it. We struggled with that in the early years.
I'm gonna need you to say baby mama.
I can't. Why baby mama?
You gotta put them on the fucking what's it called? Put them on the spot like that
every time because I know she texting me right now. No.
Did you just say baby mama?
Stop calling me that. No, but it's much different because it was always that debate early on in his first couple of years, like, do we just get a sitter so we could both work, or one or the other? And actually, ironically, I was the one that stayed home and it's just like a different bond when you're sitting there and you're teaching the kid how to walk, you're teaching the kid to recognize certain shapes and stuff like that.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, it's so much different than just somebody sending you the video of it and you're like, oh, go kid.
Well, too, and his being that he's a parent and lives in Brooklyn, his kids are affected by this because these children in New York City can't even do extracurricular activities and all that. So even if you wanted to bring them, like the park, I guess you could take them, but anywhere else he can't even bring their kids without them, having to show fucking papers. How anyone could be fine with a 5-year-old having to show fucking papers? Holy shit! If that
that's a fact.
like I throw that like when some people like that's my biggest thing. When someone gets into an argument with me and I said, "Are you okay with a 5-year-old showing papers?" Like reflect on that for a second, because if you are, then you're a dick, and I don't need to be associated with you. And that's it.
I just feel bad for people who have been like so clouded by the narrative, and people who are just honestly like afraid, you know, to confront the possibility that there might be some tyrannical oversight going on.
This was a big eye opener, and I think we were talking about this the other day, where we were saying like, even when this is over, when this mandate shit is over, and hopefully COVID becomes something that's swept under the rug, I still
We'll never forget.
I will never forget, and I will always have a different outlook and look at people differently. Like I will never look at things the same.
Oh yeah,
again.
no, 100%.
That's why I hate that return to normal. What do you want to return to? You want to return to
I'm forever
pedophilia?
traumatized.
You know, all these
Yep.
pedophile signs all over in the back of our cartoons. You want people. You want the the foster homes selling our kids basically. Like that's not normal.
Yeah.
Why do you want to return to that? I'm sorry.
I will never forget how quick these businesses turn their back on the people.
That too.
And then I think people will forget, and you know, because as humans we have a tendency of forgetting. I'm one of those people, but like when it comes to stuff like this, I need people to remember who were the first to comply, and that's just to show you their loyalty and their even love for humanity in a sense. You know what I mean? Like,
No, that's a fact. And
you know
what?
like the fact that cheesecake in New York City, I always talk about cheesecake, but the fact that cheesecake in New York is complying, but you could go down to Virginia and cheesecake is not complying. I mean, I
Long
get
Island,
it.
you could go to Cheesecake in Long
You know
Island.
what I mean?
No
I get
cap.
it. Like different laws apply, but this is not a law, and this is totally different. And and I'm sad that corporations. Well, I know why they didn't do it, but I mean, a lot of these corporations, they were given kickbacks, and they've been
1,000,000%.
pressured and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what kills me is that, like, you know, you guys were talking about how people are just gonna like go back to normal. No, the second that the mandates are done, the second that we're not wearing masks and we're not forced to get shots anymore, there's a price to pay. Like the government, whether it's local, state, or full on federal.
Yeah.
I mean, think of how many businesses had to close due to these unconstitutional.
And I don't blame them.
Yo,
But
It's
like,
hard to
it's
do
ridiculous
business right now when you were
sad,
you were told that you couldn't have this many people in your business. I mean, look at Costco's, okay, or look at Walmart's, or look at the Targets of the world, right? Those places didn't have max numbers, but small businesses did.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Well, they want to rip apart the fabric of our communities.
Yeah, and so like I just I'll never forget.
And they mind fucked a lot of people because there are people for the rest of their lives from this will have a fucking panic attack if you sneeze or cough.
No cap.
Two sneezes,
No cap.
the country
No, it's bad.
freezes.
Dude,
like
no cap.
shit. Like
No,
God,
it's too
I'm not
factual.
gonna
though.
lie. Yesterday, where was I? I was getting a pedicure, and my lady had to freaking cough so bad. She was holding it inside. She literally got up and went to the back room or some room and just let it out. And I was just like, bruh.
But like people,
You can't even cough because if you cough, I mean, and I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when people cough, I'm like, but it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy.
yeah.
well, it's crazy how far people take these things, like, and how they made like an identity about it. It gives them a sense of purpose, man.
Yeah,
It really does.
Even
It's
the
crazy.
even the people with the mask and their profile pics on social media, like you're a schmuck. You're a schmuck if you have a fucking mask on your profile pic. Like no
Or
one.
if you have that, like, I took my vaccine.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that stupid. Oh,
Dude,
man.
like it's like you know,
And now you're not vaccinated anymore.
yeah,
'cause you only got two.
which we had a
Got
conversation.
my booster.
Yo, this is why I don't even try the fucking online dating shit anymore because you gotta put a fucking you got people that have
No, but you know what? I appreciate it now.
But I do now too because now you know who not to fucking meet up with and waste your time with because they have.
And if you have your profile where you want to meet New York people, right? Let's just say New York City people. You know I can't go on a date in New York City.
Yeah.
Like I'm the last
yeah,
person
it's a
you can
fact.
Not
take
gonna
on
lie though, I used me not being vaccinated to get out of going.
on a date.
No, meeting with friends because they were like, "Yo, you want to go?" And I didn't feel like going to the city.
I'm not
like,
vaccinated.
I said, "I'm not." I was fucking tired.
I actually sent you a text of a guy who texted me, and I was like,
Yes, you did.
I'm not vaccinated. He was like, I don't care. I was like, I'm not vaccinated.
So my friends wanted me to go to some spot in the city. I think it was by Chelsea or some shit. And I'm like, yo, I do not feel like driving to the fucking city. And then I'm like, what can I? And I was like, oh shit, I could say I'm not vaccinated. And I'm like, do they check cards? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, well, I said she goes, you might want to check the
website?
The website. And I was like, yeah, they're checking. I said, sorry, I can't go. I'm not vaccinated.
Yeah, that's when it's really good.
Yeah, you see, I do the opposite. Like my mom, when she goes to visit like my grandma, she'll be like, yeah, we'll just order lunch. I'm like, Ma, why don't we just go to a restaurant somewhere?
That's funny.
But again with the dating thing, like it cracks me up because I'd rather know like. Put your like sticker whether you have HIV or herpes.
STD.
I want to know. You could put like that's more useful to me than your vaccination sticker on your fucking dating profile.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know what STD you have because then
that would be better.
That would be
actually.
better. You know, like
It's just crazy to me though that in like places like California, certain cities you don't have to disclose your HIV status, and like you could seriously fuck up a person's life and just not be held liable because of the fact that there's a law that you don't have to say anything.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But now I have to tell everybody if I'm vaccinated or not.
right, and then get segregated. A lot of you're okay with segregation is segregation. I think a lot of people think segregation is just color. And it's not. When you're separating groups of people, it's segregation.
Well, one thing I think that is really good about specifically your guys' movement, being in the city, you're bringing a lot of people together with in a lot of different backgrounds. You're bringing everybody together.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you, half of the people that we meet in the rallies and stuff, I don't think I would ever. And even with our show, there's people we meet that are fucking out this world, and I'm like, I know, doctors. When you meet these people, you're like, I don't think I would ever talk to you. To be honest with you,
No, it's very true.
Unless I was in high school.
We were in marches with MAGA people and BLM people marching together.
Yep.
You had socialists, liberals, conservatives, everybody you could think of coming together. So like that speaks volumes. Like that
100%.
people with opposing beliefs that normally would never be together are coming together to be united on an issue that's affecting everybody.
Oh yeah.
And
that's crazy.
And now it's sad to say, but these other states like Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, well,
are you talking about non-bad?
if we're gonna go by cities, Philly, Boston, Chicago, they just all got hit with the mandates with the new year starting. So Massachusetts today actually is having a huge rally. I think they had like at least 4,000 people. Yeah. So, but they should have.
New York.
They should have started this last year when they saw what was going on with New York City. New York City tends to set the tone.
Yeah,
so
that's a fact.
If you're not out there beforehand and you're just watching
I don't know if New York City sets the tone because the person who runs Freedom Rally is not even from New York, and we were just joking about that. Like a lot of the people that are actually running this are not from New York.
Well, Kevin grew up in Cali, but his family came over to New York, and he was living in New York, for a while.
It's just
yeah. But Kevin's been here for a while. Like it's not like he was like he just
hey, I'm gonna go
popped
up to New
up.
York and start a rally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got the
But I'm
Blas.
just saying he's not original.
But if you think like
you would think the originals, the originals are nowhere to be found.
Well, my international friends, they look at New York as like the capital of
the world,
America. Yeah,
no, because it's a fact.
Yeah,
it's a motherfucking fact. We run the shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if we fold, that's it.
But we look like a bunch of pussies with LA. Like LA is like it's so sad that LA is fighting.
Because I come from.
You were agreeing with me about this the other day.
About what?
With LA. Like, LA's even doing
better.
Yeah,
because this is what I was going to say. When I was growing, there was Rodney King. Remember the riots? Mm-hmm. Like, LA, they know how to rep. Like, I've seen them. Like, they beat this man on TV and wild out. I saw that as a kid. Like, I saw that riot. Right. Like, they were burning shit. Like, LA has something in their water where I don't know what it is, but those motherfuckers get it popping when it's time to. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. But they also dealt with, I would say, more police brutality. Mm-hmm. LAPD is something.
Yeah.
Out there, it's like lawless.
Yeah. LAPD.
You got like the rich celebrities and shit, like they want a certain standard, like all these Hollywood pedophiles, all these Hollywood, all those motherfuckers, they want like a certain standard.
South
and so
Central, like they get it.
People get like some sort of ego about them.
And it's funny, like they'll promote protests like a BLM protest, but then they don't want the BLM protesters in their gated communities.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Which is it's comical. That's
You know,
why they'll promote the vax, and then they'll say like you like again like De Blasio will say like you're not healthy if you don't get the vaccine. Like he literally, these are words coming straight out of his mouth, and I'm like,
he should be fucking sued for
I'm like, I've been an athlete,
coercing the public into experimental treatment.
And he literally admitted it. He goes, people are predictable. Like if you threaten them with their income and their livelihoods, then
he said it out loud.
They'll,
I was like,
It's like Macron. Macron's like, I want to make unvaccinated people as uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you fucking believe that?
That's why France is going insane right now.
And Canada.
Canada's been fucked.
Unvax tax,
Unvax tax, but also Trudeau. It was like a press conference, and he goes, there's certain fundamental rights of citizens. Well, sorry, when there's a minorities, natural rights are going to be overruled when the majority says so, or something like that. And it's just like, I don't have the quote verbatim, but
that guy Chris Guy in Canada predicted everything that's happened. If you watch his video, it's on YouTube. He fucking predicted everything.
Who's that?
Chris Guy. He's like some like Canadian like public figure.
Is it the bodybuilder guy?
I think he's a gym rat kind of guy. Yes.
I love that video.
He's very loud and obnoxious when he talks, but he speaks the facts.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Yes, that's him. Yes.
And he fucking laid it out.
He laid it out, and everything happened in the order that he said it was gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
And I said, if you can't watch,
he shouldn't though.
If you can't acknowledge this, like. But I see a lot of these people. Oh, you're not healthy and all this other shit with if you don't get the vax. But then I'm an athlete. Who's in healthcare. I work out. I watch what I eat. I don't do fast food. But you're saying I'm not healthy for not getting the vax. Meanwhile, Fat Joe down the block is smoking cigarettes and fucking at McDonald's. But he's considered healthier than me just because he jabbed himself.
Nah, but you need the vax pass to go to McDonald's.
You need the vax. Yeah. Look at it.
I just do think it's so funny though that a lot of these businesses are like, we're just following the rules.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, guess who else was?
The thing with that is like to me, small business, like if you're an entrepreneur, you're definitely outside the box. If you're one of those people that got out of a system where 9 to 5 people, like you've been through the 9 to 5 and you're now an entrepreneur, I don't know how you can sit here, and really believe in this.
Yeah.
But again.
And especially like, it just goes against everything that an entrepreneur would believe in, you know what I mean?
Exactly, which is always to be a critical thinker, is somebody who is not your regular 9 to 5 person, blah blah blah. So it's just crazy.
There's been a lot of exposure of who's a critical thinker and who's not, and who's complacent and who's lazy and
Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
It's crazy.
No, like our entire Congress just needs to just be drained, man. I'm telling you, like, we need to get every last individual out of there.
And there needs to be term limits on those seats.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I don't think these people need to be sitting for 40 years in a seat and then handing over to their cousin or nephew or aunt or whoever. You know what I mean?
And then when they're done, being handed, like, a committee chair or something like that.
Yeah, it needs to stop.
We got AOC that has a seat. She has no fucking clue.
I'm not going to lie. They caught me with her. They got me with her.
Yeah.
Like before, like all of this happened, I was just like, wow, this is great, da da da. But then I saw how she got bought.
Yeah.
Like her rhythm changed.
Yeah.
She was like very untouched, and then all of a sudden they started to pull her in, and then
groom her.
Yes.
But then she started also opening her mouth more, and you realize she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Oh my gosh.
And I worked in her district for 8 years, and. Even though she's
just a good look.
She's a good look for them.
She's a good look because she's a woman and she's of color.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
But
that's how these people work.
She's in Miami. She was in Miami, right?
Yeah.
And then no mask and all this shit. But I can tell you, within the last few years of me working in her district, I work in Nassau now, but when I was in Queens and Jackson Heights, people were getting shot at the corner bodega. People were getting fucking stabbed to death by gangs.
She doesn't give a fuck about that.
And she's not doing shit. I have not seen her in the area of Jackson Heights. She's doing jack shit.
Well, why do you think she's in Miami? She wants to get away from all that
right,
shit.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah. Like, yo, we need DeSantis, man. Oh, man. I was just telling my friend, he was like, no, we don't.
Somebody tells me that he's not all that he's cracked up to be.
No, I don't know. I like DeSantis.
I feel like he's better than Trump.
I do too.
Well,
I do too.
Since we're all conspiracy theorists here, I read something that he's helping the agenda to bring all the people from up north to come down there and then slap them with mandates also.
Yeah, like I just feel like I'm telling you, a lot of these people that come off the way they are, like, guys, be careful.
Oh, what about Texas? Texas,
careful.
you haven't heard. You just don't hear that they're not doing much against it.
Yeah.
Which is suspicious. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think Abbott's bought.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
I think
there?
Abbott's bought. I don't buy
We're
it.
not conspiracy
A lot of them are bought. We just don't know.
Ted Cruz, that motherfucker,
Oh.
that bitch. Yo, I saw your story. John has good stories. You got when John goes on, you go on to your little your little rants that you type out, and I'm like, yo, this is good. Next one. Oh, okay, yep, John, great points. And I was telling Jen on the way here, I'm like, yo, you got to pay attention to what John writes because you articulate it and you're on the money with the shit that you say, and I'm like,
appreciate it. Yeah, well, I mean, dude, just like a lot of this modern day crazy shit just pisses me off. Like, I hate like this whole health push for people to, not exercise and just get the vaccine. I hate just the hypocrisy of all these politicians, like saying one thing to their base, like Ted Cruz saying one thing to their base, and then when you're in the halls of Congress saying another thing.
Yeah.
And it just really frustrates me because, like, why did your constituents vote for you if you're just gonna turn your back when you're with your homies in front of everybody? You know what I mean? Like, like it's like when there's like a weird guy in the group, and like
Plank. No.
when all the homies are like together without him, it's like, yeah, what the fuck? Why'd he do that? And then when you're together with him, oh, what's up, man?
Yeah,
like,
that sucks.
It's just like it's just fake,
Yes,
and I think Ted
I
Cruz
hate
is
that.
fake.
He's
What about
he's
Ron
a bitch.
Paul?
Well, Ron Paul's old, man. Rand Paul though.
No, not Ron Paul. Rand Paul. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's a senator. He's always grilling Fauci.
he's
I think he's about it.
Fauci.
I think he's about it.
I think he's
I think
about
he's
it
about
too. I don't know. I just get this like I'm really
I
like
heard something about him too. I can't
You
think
heard
of
that
it.
he's fake too.
Yeah, I heard. No, I'm
His
dead
voice
serious.
annoys
I
me a
heard
little
something.
bit, but
He annoys you?
His voice annoys me. I don't know what it is about his voice.
Listen, I don't know what you're doing.
there you
Well, Mike does good impressions of people all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with impressions.
What kind of impressions you got?
Elmo is his best friend.
I could do Elmo.
I could do a nasty Elmo. I want to hear yours first.
Wait, but you gotta say mad curses and like be ghetto. Be ghetto Elmo.
All right.
Elmo says that you're a fucking idiot. Elmo says Big Bird shot up with bullshit.
It's actually pretty good. That might be actually better than mine.
It's good. His is
That
good.
was pretty good. Yeah.
What's yours?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my! He's really good.
You're good. Yeah.
Wait, I'm
speaker in
a
the-
little suspicious about these men doing Elmo really good.
Oh man. Yeah, dude.
Elmo says wow. Elmo says fuck vaccine
Yeah.
mandates.
See, no, he might be better than me.
I don't know. It sounds very similar.
No. I don't know. I think you got me beat, to be honest.
Oh,
on that
yeah?
one.
Very good.
We'll let the audience decide.
Maybe we should have a
If you fuck
contest.
with our
We can do
Elmo
Elmo
impressions,
shot.
let us know down in the comments.
These are the type of men we have in the world.
We got a
Elmo
guy-
contest.
We got
Yeah.
we got a guy, Leroy.
Literally.
He's press with the New York Freedom Rally Group, and whenever he started, he's just like, "Oh, it was a bunch of cocksuckers. You can't get these cocksuckers here. Don't trust these nut jobs over here. Cocksuckers over there.
Antifa.
Antifa. You can't trust Talia. Fuck that bitch. She's no good. That bitch talks to my brother. You gotta get that fuck out of here.
I love New Yorkers, man. And that's the one thing is that, like, this state, and specifically, like, the city area, just such great people, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll never find characters like that anywhere in the world.
It's just real.
It is
It's
real.
so real.
What do you guys do for fun around here? Is there
Drink.
Drink, yeah.
Drink and drive.
Drink and drive.
Yo,
You guys don't
I'm
go
dead
to the city
serious.
too often, right?
Not anymore. We
Right.
used to every fucking, I mean, dude, like, that
Or
was
just the LIRR down.
Is
Yeah, exactly.
Amityville around here? Like
Amityville is like 5 towns
We passed
west.
Do they like have like a some type of like tour of that house?
Yeah, I think it's like a
So
museum.
doesn't somebody live there now? Nobody lives there?
I don't know. I thought it was a
He's
museum.
obsessed with this
We
fucking
can't.
house.
We can't go in museums.
Oh, that's right. We're not
We're not allowed to go
vaccinated.
in museums.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, no, out here.
Wait, no,
out
in
here
Long
there's no
Island?
mandates.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
go
you
there.
could
Oh,
you
that's
could.
right. That's right.
Oh, there's
go
no
wherever.
mandates. There's no mandates in Long Island.
I don't know. I don't know if the house was like bought and sold or if it was like a thing.
I know you used to be able to see it while you were on the train, but then they put up these gates. I'm like really into scary stuff, so
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Nothing scarier than the tyrannical mandates.
Oh, that is scary.
Now that shit really does freak me out. You know?
It does.
It sets a lot of precedents for the future.
I mean, shit, they're controlling our ships at the bays.
Can you believe that?
The fact that, you know what it is too, the fact that we have, you know, the data out there right now showing that Omicron initial outbreaks were with vaccinated individuals, boosted individuals. All these healthcare workers that are out are all fully vaccinated, and it's spreading. So it's not reducing the spread. We're going to be hitting shot 4, and it's still not fucking reducing the spread. And I'm tired of hearing motherfuckers like Jimmy Fallon. I called that asshole out on his Instagram, and like my comment blew up because I said, you know, Jimmy Fallon was like, "Thank God I got the vaccine because, you know, my symptoms were mild." And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. I said, because the unvaccinated people I know in my life that just got COVID within the last 2 months
had no symptoms.
No symptoms. And if they did, it was mild as fuck, just like everybody else. So don't give me some bullshit that your vaccine made your symptoms mild. Because when I got COVID in May, my symptoms were the same exact symptoms as my brother, who's now triple vaccinated. So, you know, like, and I work out. So I was lifting weights and doing yoga day 3 of me having COVID, and I was good.
Yeah.
I was fine. You know, so I'm tired of this whole mild bullshit narrative, and people really got to wake the fuck up, because it's obviously like Hutchell, our governor, could stand up there and be like, oh, with their fucking freaky vax necklace. I'm like, who the fuck wears a vax necklace?
I really can't stand that woman.
Yeah.
And she really thinks...
We call her Hoochie Hochel.
But she really thinks she's the shit, though.
Yeah.
Like, she walks up there acting like she really was elected, but she really wasn't.
I know.
And I don't even know.
I feel like they made that happen for her because I think that's what's going to happen with Biden and Kamala.
And Cuomo just got let go of the fucking charges. The sexual... Like, are people not paying attention? And
I knew Cuomo was going to get pulled out as soon as he said out loud, you cannot mandate people. When he said that, I was like... Yeah, it's over. And then all of a sudden, he had this...
He said that in early June.
He did.
On the press conference. He said we can't...
No.
He said we can't mandate an EUA.
He said it. And I was like, I know that's when it's going to be over for him. And boom.
All of a sudden...
Because come on, he's been in politics for how many years?
Yeah.
I mean, his whole life is this, right? Yeah. You think that this is the first time he's like sexually harassed somebody?
And no, he's just Italian.
He's Italian.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, like, the minute he said that, I was like, it's over.
He makes us Italians look like assholes. Like,
really. Like, he puts a bad rep on Italians.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw the probe. I saw when they were doing his interviews with the prosecutors of his case. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm not like victim shaming at all, but he seemed pretty like serious that he didn't do anything. Like, you could just, I don't know. It just looked.
For me, the sexual assault charges were used to overshadow his nursing home scandal, which
100%.
He should be locked up for that.
Yeah,
so
I don't understand.
The numbers were he was lying about the numbers. Even when he was arguing with Trump, and Trump was like saying like, oh, you know, I don't. He was going at it with Cuomo, and then I had coworkers that were like, oh, he's doing such a fabulous job. He wrote this fucking book. People bought the book. Now he had to give that money back. He had to give that money back, yeah, because, you know, you were an asshole and you lied about all that shit.
But that's it, though? Like, that's his retribution, like, to the entire state of New York?
Yeah.
You know, great, $5 million. Yeah, where's that tax money going to go?
Right. And, like, he doesn't have a stash already saved up with all the shit. After
legit.
All these years.
That was like a teardrop in the bucket for him.
Yeah. He, you know, when he to see that that's the other thing that a lot of people forget, that he made that statement, and not just him, Biden, Pelosi, Peppermint Patty. She calls Biden's press secretary Peppermint Patty.
I hate that woman.
Yeah, that dumbass. And then
she's terrible.
Even Fauci, like, all of them said on camera, on national television, we can't mandate it.
Said
and
that.
Pelosi said
it's what I'm talking about.
It's your privacy, your vaccination status, and all this. It's your privacy. And then they went against all that. You know?
This is why I'm saying how people forget so quickly. When things like this happen, people just forget. Like, you didn't remember him saying that, and then all of a sudden it changed. And then I knew he was gonna come out the minute he said that. Cuomo.
Yeah, you did say that.
I was like,
the one thing that really pisses me off, and that should have just like squashed this whole thing immediately, and people forgot it, is when Trump was president and he was doing the whole thing with the vaccine. Can't be done. There's no way that we'll have a vaccine.
Yeah.
And if it does come out,
I'm not doing
I'm
it.
not fucking taking that. Like Kamala at the debates. If President Trump,
I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Oh my God.
God.
That was one.
That was
First
such
off,
a-
that was one of the biggest beatdowns in political history. That vice presidential debate was a fucking demolition.
Her approval rating is lower than Biden's. That just goes to show
it's
how
like
much
28%.
I was disappointed at it because she was very stereotypical, and that's what they were going for. Though
they went with the
guys.
identity politics.
They wanted everybody to be like, oh, she got the neck turn and she got the eye rolling. They wanted that.
But listen, even
because that's relatable.
But
to
they
a
don't
woman
know
of
that
color.
she sucked dick to get her
she
way
blew,
into
yeah,
the
she
district
blew her way.
attorney's
She
office.
blew her
Yep.
way to the top. But
Yep.
not just that, she accused the man that nominated her of being racist. That's when you know this is all bullshit. Because
yep.
when she was running for presidency and they're going at it, she's like, "You're a racist. You're a racist." And you know, how the fuck, Biden only picked you because of your race and because of you being a female, because why would I pick someone that accused me of being racist?
100%.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, they can't stand each
You
other.
can't even make that shit up. Like, and people are like, "Duh," and I'm like, get the
she got
fuck out
voted
of
for.
here.
Yeah, it was an emotional vote. That's what it was.
Big time. Well, I mean, but that's the thing though, is that like they really think people are that stupid. That people will just vote
But
based on
people are
identity.
stupid because look, they voted.
They do it. Yeah, they do it.
Well,
I don't even like.
You know, we can't talk about that. We'll get banned from YouTube.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna rat my family member out, but they said
Names now.
they were just basically like, oh, you know, I didn't want to vote for Biden,
But I
there's
had to.
no way I was voting for Trump. And I
Yep,
was like,
yep.
that's what you based your, you know, like, I know Trump got a lot of like backlash from some people, but because I trade stocks, so there's one thing he did properly, and it was run the country as a business.
Yeah.
I miss that so much. I really do, man. Like,
And the
Trust
thing
my-
is
so does
that
my
people
if we still had that motherfucker, this office would be
Still running.
mine forever, man.
Exactly. I think people during COVID, people wanted that hope speech.
Yeah.
Right, and I was in my mind every time I seen Trump, I'm like, you know, guys, he's not polished. Most business people, they're not polished.
He's rough.
man.
He's
Yeah,
rough.
you're rough.
You have to be.
You're rough. You've been
Yeah.
dealing with so much shit. Everybody's trying to get you. You're always on edge. That's who you are as a business. But that is why he was successful, because he put the smackdown on other countries.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not going to take advantage of us.
Yeah.
No,
he
100%.
never said he didn't want to be part of the global warming initiative.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to get raped.
Right.
Financially, how they were raping us. We were spending the most money out of any nation when it came to global warming.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I want a discount.
And yet we're one of the lowest like emitters of greenhouse gases in the world.
Yeah.
In terms of a large nation,
we're paying
especially.
more?
And like Russia and fucking China. I mean, China and India alone.
Factories.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they contribute like 50% at least of the
And
world's
the United
like,
States
carbon
is
gases.
paying
You know?
more. So I feel like he went in like a boss. Like, we're gonna make some cuts, and you got to make some cuts, and that's that. And any business owner be like, yeah.
And China, you're gonna pay us, not the other way around. You know,
Facts.
here's the thing. We all got tired of polished politicians, and you know, you
That's
got
why we got
Hillary
bullied.
and all these other fuckers that say one thing in front of everybody, and then behind closed doors doing the complete opposite. And
You know
I'm
she's
tired.
running again?
Yeah, I heard that too.
Is she? No, I know that.
That's they're
get
so
the fuck
yeah,
out
they're
of
very
here.
desperate for this.
Because Biden, let me tell you something. Biden has shown like the guy shit his pants in the Vatican. He fell asleep at the fucking conference.
Is
Yeah.
that really true?
That's
Yeah.
what,
No,
it's true.
Yeah,
They said it's credible
con-
sources that vouched and that he took extra
But why
time
did
to leave
somebody?
the Vatican.
Why did they tell him? Well, whatever.
Because no one, the Secret Service doesn't like this guy.
Yeah.
Why would they like this
Yeah.
guy? You know,
Who the
like
hell
the
does?
Secret Service is getting bit by his fucking dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, but the craziest part to me is that everyone wanted like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. You know, they wanted a Churchill. They wanted someone who could speak hope and inspiration
That's
into
what
people.
it was. Yeah.
But instead, they got turn international pressure.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
he's
mean?
actually
all over.
trying to get like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like his PR people are now trying to make him tough, kind of like Trump. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, with the
like,
screaming.
With this, he's like, I'm tired of being quiet, and I'm just like, oh. So I feel like right now his PR people are like, listen, you need to start getting a little bit more rough because that's what they like.
I love when he tries to do it though. He's like, I'm not gonna sit for this.
My patience is wearing thin.
My patience is wearing thin. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's just like,
but
It's the pandemic. I'm the unvaccinated.
yeah.
it just scares me how a politician feels like it's just so brazen and feels so comfortably talking like that to the people that they rule over.
Fake White House setup.
Dude, back in the day, I mean, if that was like France in, King Louis the fucking 16th times, I mean, there would be, if we had modern technology, France wouldn't exist. I swear to God, the whole country would have been blown up with the amount of people who did not fuck with tyranny.
Yeah.
What happened now? Why are we not out there, all of us, just collectively saying no? And that's it. We don't have to blow anything up. We don't have to do anything crazy.
It's under the disguise of health and safety. That's why. And a lot of people are like.
I think
know.
it started out like that for sure. I feel like at this point, now it's like businesses are doing this to not get fined. They're doing this out of fear, not of the virus, but of the government.
But you don't even gotta pay
and they don't want
But you
the
don't even gotta pay the
inconvenience.
fines.
Yeah, you don't even have to pay them. Yeah.
Yeah, but that too. They don't want to be inconvenienced. Yeah.
Yeah, Jen, what made you pay the fines?
I didn't pay the fine.
Oh, you didn't pay the
No.
fine. All right, yeah, fuck them.
I'm actually gonna go and I'm actually gonna go to do the whole Zoom thing if I can get to do that, and I am going to sit there and shoot shit with the judge
You should.
and have time.
Have time.
I have time for that,
No, it's
and
just,
I'm
it's
gonna
just
record
ridiculous.
it and I'm gonna put it on Instagram.
It's gonna be on We Outside.
It's gonna be on We Outside.
Judge trial.
My trial is gonna be on. But yeah, it's bullshit.
And we got some haters. We got some.
The fines are not real. Like they have no law backing.
Oh yeah, mandates are not law. People
Yeah.
don't understand that mandates are not law. Like and out here on the island, like
They know that.
But like you'll still find businesses that like you can't walk in without a mask.
Yeah, there's some Nassau businesses
just
that are complying. Yeah.
But
Even
that
when-
makes no sense though either, because the Nassau police commissioner literally came out like, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
not happening.
Blakeman isn't enforcing it. Yeah, from what I've heard.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's just ridiculous.
I don't know. People, I have hope for 2024 that people maybe will wake up at this time, but you never know, especially with
Yeah, I want it now.
I have time for
I
that,
know,
Bruno.
I know.
Let's see what happens with
My
the
heart hurts
midterms.
hearing that number.
Yeah, seriously.
Listen, I want.
Damn, I'll be 40.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hope Biden stays alive till then, because I do not want. I don't want Kamala as a president. And
Well, it really wouldn't matter because at the end of the day, guys,
It's
we
gonna be
know
the
that
same
Biden
shit.
is not the you know who's really running. It's people behind the scenes.
yeah.
Illuminati.
Barack.
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 You know what? It's so crazy though too, because like the Capitol has been like sieged so many times by protesters and all this kind of stuff.
Has it?
Oh yeah, I mean like
This is not the first
couple
time
years.
January 6th?
No.
No. There's been bombings in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Really?
There's been protests. Like
Yeah.
there was a feminist rally. I think it was like a women's march actually.
Yes, I
Yes,
remember
it
that
was.
one.
That it was like in like 2017 that broke into the Capitol, did the same shit, caused way more
What?
damage from number one.
Yeah.
And
That's not still. Oh, dang.
but like now you see I brought this up because of the mandate protest on the 23rd in DC. They're putting up concrete barriers
Yeah.
in front of the White House.
Yeah.
Concrete?
Yeah, you
They
can see
are
that?
going to.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, there's going to be feds up in that bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking. We gotta storm the
storm
White
it.
House.
Yeah.
We gotta storm the Capitol. We gotta storm the
You
White.
think they would do
Guaranteed.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, I
What?
guarantee it. And I'm gonna be with my camera documenting that shit, and I'm gonna fucking make sure that. First off, none of us are gonna get
Yeah.
shit for it because I'm making sure that it's clear.
And you're saying
no
it
one,
right now, so.
Yeah, I'm making it clear that no one fucks with storming the White House or storming the
Yeah,
Capitol.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we're not about. I mean, look, we haven't
Yeah, no, I'm not
rioted
doing
in our
that.
streets now. We're not gonna go to
Yeah.
a foreign area and go do that there. I mean, that's just street logic, right?
Right
But people
here.
really think that rioting solves something.
I
Like
mean,
rioting doesn't. I personally don't believe it solves a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
No.
If you give me a really convincing case, then
Yeah, I'll flip a card. Why not?
listen.
Yeah.
If the Islanders win, fucking
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like LA actually does that. Like Lakers won the championship, right? And then they were rioting in the streets for
dude,
that. And it's
they're just a brazen, lawless city. Man.
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah.
you, LA is just a lawless
LA
city.
is a mess.
I'm telling you, it's.
I mean-
they have something going on with their water.
Jen's sticking with that. The water shit.
Something, it's the water. Something they don't get to see. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like Rodney King, the Lakers winning. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I know.
A riot for the Lakers.
Right.
I know. Yeah, that's one of the things that I think about, like the way people are so passionate about sports,
Oh
right?
man, yeah.
And then like also me, I love hip hop. I'm from East Harlem, and we have all these rappers and these people who are so hood and strong and tough. And it's just like, this is a time where I want to see that type of attitude and energy. And it's just like, your rapper that's so tough is not saying anything about you getting jabbed 3 times.
Right, right.
Matter of fact, they care about you doing that so they can have their concerts and
Yep.
stuff like that. So it's just like, and then people
And they won't get it though.
Yeah, they won't get it. And then you have people who are so passionate about basketball and baseball, and I'm gonna get, and it's just like that same passion you need to have for the life you're living right now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Well, something that really pisses me off about, specifically the Madison Square Garden group is that Joe Rogan not only had a comedy special or like a comedy performance there, and he's unvaccinated, he also did a UFC event where he commentated, and there were unvaccinated fighters, all this kind of stuff, but yet common folk can't just walk in unvaccinated. You have to flash your pass.
That's the key word there, common folk.
Exactly.
Right? Because we're not in that upper class, we don't get that same treatment. It's
Like, but the mandate should have just ended right there.
right.
I mean, and that's not even the best example, that's just the one that's on the top of my head.
Yeah. Yeah, we got like 74 marks at this point. They should have just stopped that.
I mean,
What?
I'm gonna have to take you to Harlem with me real quick.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
with it. No, they
you taking him back home?
I was, but now he's got to come with me first before I can take him home.
But you know what? It's also we're witnessing now with Novak Djokovic. He's the number one tennis player in the world,
Yeah.
and look what he's doing within Australia.
They took it back.
He just got an injunction though. It's like a game of tennis. It's literally
Yep.
like a game of tennis going back and forth.
Yep.
And so like I worked at the U.S. Open for years.
wow.
That was actually my first job as a ball boy at 15 years old, and
It's fucking sick.
I played competitive. My last match I worked was Novak Djokovic's match in Arthur Ashe at the U.S. Open, his semifinal match. That was in 2014. I've been on the courts with Federer, Serena, Nadal, all of them, and
Wow.
it cracks me up though that Nick Kyrgios, the Australian tennis player, and he's actually been speaking out and saying what the Australian government's doing right now to Novak is actually is not a good look. But he just recently tested positive for COVID. So he's doing his quarantine, but he's going to be able to go back, to play the fucking tournament.
But he's vaccinated, bro.
But he's vaccinated, but
alright.
he tested positive, and then you got Djokovic.
Wait, but isn't the Djokovic guy not saying he is or not? He just doesn't want to.
No,
He has
not.
exemptions.
Djokovic has always been a very natural, like holistic individual.
Ain't there like a
Hence why he's the number one tennis player in the world.
Oh, yeah.
The way he takes care of his health, you know.
yeah.
So isn't there like a female athlete recently that can never ever do her sport again because she now has
Yes.
heart? What's her name? I don't know her name.
I can't remember if she was a swimmer or a runner.
She's
of some
done.
sort.
She's done.
Yeah.
She took the vax. She's done.
And
Like she has
she
what's
was
that
having
called?
heart problems. right?
Michael. What is it?
Myocarditis.
Myocarditis.
Yeah, she got it.
Which I'm seeing in
it's-
most of my patients these days, by the way. Yeah.
she got it.
It's crazy though.
She's never going to be able to compete again. She is already said it's over. Her heart is not going to be able to sustain that.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's happened to so many different athletes across the world. I mean, there's
Yes.
I forgot who it is. There's a really famous ultra marathon runner who can't ever compete again now.
Yeah.
There's
How do they know they can never? Because they get weekly checkups.
They'll get their. There's so many exams. I perform coronary exams on patients with CAT scans and and MRIs.
Are you seeing that a lot?
Yeah, I've had a lot of patients within the last few months, like the last 2 months, mostly women coming in with severe heart palpitations, tachycardia.
Really?
Yes, post a month post second dose. I had my most recent one was a woman in her 30s who said her coordination was off 2 weeks after her second dose, and she was getting memory fog. So I'm witnessing that. When you work in radiology, we're performing a lot of the exams for individuals that have, certain symptoms, and it instead of you can't we're the first stop before a doctor wants to get invasive with the patient. So I'm seeing a lot of people coming in with different adverse effects, but most
Are
of
they
them are
saying
coronary.
anything? Like, are they like, I think it's because of this? Do you hear them say that or no?
They bring up, well, I've had this. They don't straight out say it, but then they hint to it when they say like, oh, this didn't start happening until after I got my second dose.
Because they don't want to. It's cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit it. They want to admit it. It's
100%.
But I think also some of them are afraid because they don't know what my stance is or my back. I don't tell my patients obviously, but
Right.
they're afraid like if they make a comment that the person that's treating them right now may judge them and
Got it.
so a
Well,
lot
they
of them-
will though.
Yeah.
Like based off of certain standards, you're not allowed to get certain treatments based on your vaccine status, and also based off now ethnicity.
Yeah.
I mean, where are we going with our medical treatment? Like, how? And it's like if it's in the medical system, like if you can't get certain treatments because of the color of your skin, then where's the next logical step?
Right.
Next logical step is to go straight back to government. And what does government do best in this country? Discriminate based off skin color.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but now we're just reversing it.
I just imagine the downtake of I call it pure blood, because you're not gonna be able to do like blood transfusions with tainted blood, so to say. So just imagine, and how many people are gonna line up right now to give blood?
Oh yeah,
I'm not trusting nobody. You're not sticking shit in me.
Yeah, no.
They'll line up for 3 hours to get a fucking test, but you can't line up for voting. That's
yeah.
Well, no, and you have to show your Vax card to get into MSG, but you can't show your voter ID.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my God. There's so much we could.
We
Yeah.
can sit here
All
ping-ponging
day.
this shit back and forth.
What do you guys think is the solution?
I think it's people coming out and stop hiding in your house, stop complying and being lazy, and coming out and joining the rallies, speaking out. My Instagram used to be private. I went public to encourage other people to fight and show that they're not alone, and that there's a lot more than they think there is out there that don't agree with this bullshit. And I think it starts with that, because otherwise, if people feel alone, then they're more likely to comply and then just roll with the bullshit that they don't really want to roll with and they're not comfortable with.
100%.
So I think that's the first step,
I think it also starts with like people from the different movements, like the freedom people, taking positions in local government. Like, I think that we need to start having some level of checks and balances.
Yeah.
I don't know. I imagine how they have the press conference room in the White House. Maybe they need to have a section where it's just regular people that are able to ask questions. It's very controlled. They have only CNN there, Fox, and specific press.
Yeah.
Why don't they have somebody like Leroy Press there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
there
100%.
needs to be a level of truth and humanity in those places, and I don't think they have them, and that's why we can't hold these people accountable. One of the things that
Expose the censorship.
right, I think with the Eric Adams thing, when they
Fuck that
actually
guy.
went inside and spoke to him, that only happened because he was the mayor elect at that point.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that now as the mayor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
accessible. Let's keep it 100%. So these people are not accessible. Me having my business in New Jersey, I have access to the mayor in my town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't have the access. And I just feel like that's the problem, the access, the direct access to people, and the checks and balances.
Yep.
How is Eric Adams able to continually put an emergency sticker on New York City when we know it's clearly not an emergency anymore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these are these checks and balances. How are they? That's what we need. We need true checks and balances, and people like us to actually be able to sit in these places, but they won't allow that.
And people like and people like us to run.
ain't
We have some
outside.
people in our movement that are running for Congress, for Senate,
Yes.
for the senator
Yeah.
seat. So we need people that are to step up, and get these assholes.
I really think there
out.
should be regular people at the press, the press office in the White House. I think that when they're having presidential debates, I think regular people need to be able to show up.
Yeah.
Even in New Jersey, when Murphy and Jack were debating, I was trying to get into that debate, and it was watery. tickets. Like you got it by lottery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, I wanted to be at that debate and see it. You know what I mean?
It's like the real lottery. They pick and choose.
They pick and choose who they want. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just no access. And as a business owner, like a lot of people have access to me, and I just think that that's becoming less normal. You know?
Yeah.
If you have a problem with Target, do you call the CEO?
I would like to.
You would, right?
You go to the regional manager.
We might need to start making those standards where the CEO has like a email address where people can actually talk to them.
Well, you know, it's crazy because back in the day, you know, your constituency was able to access you. You know, like senators would be in their office and you could ring them, be like, yo, I got a little some little concern. I would love to come by and chat.
Right.
Come on by, bring cake.
Yes.
You know, and you would sit and chill and talk to your local congressperson.
Yeah.
You know, and it would just be a normal thing.
Yep.
It's not normal.
It's not normal anymore. Yeah. Well, because unless you're paying the right price, you're not allowed to sit in my desk chair. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, I think this I like to think this could end very easily with three things. The first being the business owners got to stop asking for it.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Who's they don't have somebody from like Department of Health
Deadass.
standing there watching you do this. They do the pop-ins. Yeah, guess what? They popped in every
but they
all
don't go
these
to
other
each
years.
Patreon and
Exactly.
goes, hey, let me see your card. They can't do that legally,
So
and they know that.
That's the first thing. The businesses got to stop. The second thing is people shouldn't. I've learned from my talks with a lot of people, like our viewers and stuff like that, that the real fear is just getting into that uncomfortable situation of confrontation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to the second thing is for like the unvaxxed to just go out and do these things, because you see we do it. Although we do it in big groups, we do it to the point to show you we can just do it.
Yeah.
And the last thing is the vaccinated people need to just stop showing their cards. Burn them,
100%.
throw them up, tear them up, something.
Just like that guy at Albany.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. You got it. Congratulations. Good for you. You didn't do your research. That's on you. But don't flaunt it around like it's something. Keep that to yourself.
Remember when everybody was like, follow the science?
Yeah.
And now the science shows that they were wrong.
Yeah.
You
don't hear that at
wanna
all.
Follow the science
You
now.
don't hear that. None of them say that at
That
all.
shit, it really just...
Nobody says that now.
Yeah, no, because if
Follow the what?
if they did, they'd be like, follow the science. Shit.
And then a lot of people got to pay attention to Israel, because Israel is ahead of us, and if you're not paying attention to Israel, then you're being a little lazy, because
100%.
Israel has the data right now, and then we're behind them, you know, with the vaccines, and
Not only do they have the
Mirroring
data,
them.
they have the deaths.
the deaths.
they're
Yeah.
on the fifth one.
What with the
Number 4.
vaccines?
Yeah.
The fifth one for immune compromised.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that's where
on
they're going
number
with
5?
it now. No, that's where they're
They're
going with
talking.
it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, no way. I thought they were only in talks about number 4.
No, I'm pretty sure they've already rolled out 4. I'm pretty sure.
No
I think
way.
they rolled out 4. I think.
Yeah, and I think they already said the fifth one might be needed for immune
And
compromise.
there were close to 2 million Israelis that got their passports.
People don't
revoked.
realize that.
Oh, my gosh.
All the vials were pre-ordered. All these governments bought them out according to
And that's
years
why they
ahead
want
of
it.
time. So that's why they're pushing it on us, because
want that
they need to
money.
sell their product before the shelf life starts to go away or whatever,
I also
whatever
think
that means.
I also think a big part of it is that like the early treatment medicines, you know, they're generic, so they're not going to bring in the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I could just back in the day at least, you know, you could go to your local Walgreens and ask your pharmacist for ivermectin, have no problem. Hydroxychloroquine as well.
And that's really cheap.
That's
too.
Yep.
the other thing I forgot to mention earlier. People should watch the recent Project Veritas video, gain of function.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah.
And ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, that was suppressed. They were, you know, it was known that it would be effective, but they were suppressing that. And
Oh, yeah.
And the money that was funded with the lab to do this fucking research on the COVID, you know, bat virus shit.
Bullshit.
People really got to look into it. Fauci has
Fauci should
a lot
be
of blood on
arrested.
his hands.
He's a lying ass bitch.
He's a lying ass bitch, and people ignore what he did with the AIDS.
And that's why China's,
yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
why China's like, don't even play with me. Don't even play with me.
Yeah, 'cause we'll
China's
expose your
like,
ass.
China's like, You know, like when you know somebody did something, but
Yeah.
they're trying to blame you.
China-
And you're like, you know what I mean? That
Well,
face.
Yeah.
this is probably why China was saying it was the U.S. virus because
Yeah.
we got Fauci over
China
here, and
was
then
like, bro, do not make me pull out the receipt. Like,
Dead ass though.
and the laptop, the Biden
please
laptop.
don't make me pull out the receipt.
I wish they would pull out the laptop.
They should
though.
pull out the receipts. China really like, come on, show how gangster you are. Like,
Man,
really.
You know, it's
China's
just
like, nah,
crazy.
we gonna shut up, but y'all don't know your own people sold you out.
Yeah. No,
They-
that the AIDS thing is like, I feel like I've gathered enough evidence on that to be able to like break it down on why it's made through medicine and not with it doesn't coincide with HIV. Like HIV is its own thing. AIDS wasn't a thing until Fauci created it. He diagnosed people with this. He said, "Oh well, look, they have autoimmune disease." And I mean, I don't want
But
to get
AIDS is different than HIV.
right. It is.
Right.
It's damage. It's basically your immune system is damaged.
Yeah,
and
it's
your immune
done.
system can't reproduce.
Once
right.
you have AIDS, you're
Same
going.
thing that these vaccinations are doing, right? Because you develop EAD, which is enhanced antibody dependency, which after the waning period goes down after a couple months. This is why you need the booster because your immune system has now been shot. And your immune system's waning, not your antibodies,
And
your
there's
whole
like a
thing.
little
Well, yeah, I mean,
bit
this-
of HIV inside of it.
So
My understanding is that the T cells get attacked by the spike protein.
Yes,
Yes.
right, and actually
That's
anything.
the same thing that happens with HIV. Yeah.
Because it's disguised as a protein cell, it actually breaks through your brain barrier because your brain barrier lets protein cells come through. So by doing that, all it takes is for it to cling onto one of your nerves into your body, and then your antibody is going to attack that and attack your own nervous system.
And look up graphene oxide, people.
Yeah.
Graphene oxide. That was the other wake up call around the time when the healthcare, when the New York hospitals were trying to mandate. There was an article I was reading from Spain, and I posted the article on my Instagram story. IG took it off with no warning whatsoever, and I didn't even get like you violated a guidelines thing. Like I got no notice or anything that
They're
I
just like,
violated.
we don't got to talk about
We
this.
don't have to
alright?
talk about it. They just removed it, and I said, "Yo," and I was with my coworker that's on our side, and I'm like, "Yo, they just took this shit off." I said, "That's weird, man. I've never had Instagram take anything off from me before, and they just took it off, no warning." And I'm like, "Ooh, they didn't want me talking about that.
I
That
remember
graphene
I had-
oxide shit."
I remember I had Facebook, like, I don't have Facebook anymore, my personal Facebook, but it was in March, like end of March, April, or start of April. And I was just like, I put out a message, kind of like your rants. And I was just like, something about this story don't make sense. You telling me that they can find Osama bin Laden, but they can't tell us that there's a deadly disease coming.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this is when I woke up. I knew people were on some shit because people were like, Jen, you gotta watch what you say. You can't say that. And I was just like, wow.
Well, who the fuck's gonna stop me?
Yeah. And it was crazy because it's just like, that's when I woke up. Like, when people were like, no, don't say that. Because you're talking about the CIA on Facebook. It's just like, oh my God.
Every conspiracy theory is coming to
Yeah.
is actually happening. right?
Listen, I'd rather die than live a life like this
Yeah.
in perpetuity. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
For sure.
So that's just where we're at now as a nation, and I really hope that this protest in DC is a wake up call for the government. You know that people are really getting together and getting pissed.
I think
So,
they
yeah.
know. I think they know. I think right now the government is like restructuring their messaging and how they're going to go about it now with this crumbling the way it is. I think the elite are thinking like that too now. Like, this is not going to work through the health part. We clearly are not going to make an impact through health. So I think
We just gotta nuke everybody.
Yeah.
There's
they're just like, listen, we really can't do this health thing because the health thing is not working. But what we're going to do is get them where their money is.
Yeah.
And that's when
yeah, they're gonna lock us out of our bank accounts and all that
that
good
is
stuff.
where you're going to see even those who are fighting for mandates against it, where people will fold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
You'll get
will see
you
that.
get the real you'll
That's when
thin
you're
the
going to see
herd
the
there.
real deal.
yeah.
That's going to take a lot of shadow work for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
No, it's true.
Like,
it's
when
true.
it comes to money and survival, like,
Well, that's how they got New York through their occupation, which is really just their financials. How many people would really give up their money status You know, especially people with like high pain, like healthcare is the greatest, or even NYPD or any.
They knew if they could get through
enforcement.
healthcare, they could get to everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
when
I
this
think
first
they're
started.
not. I think this little narrative is falling apart. They're gonna find that they're going to that other route.
Yeah.
And that route is through cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Through
Yeah.
social credit system. Like I think that's where it's going.
Microchips.
That's where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I couldn't agree more.
I don't think this health thing is gonna work, and they now know like this was a bust.
I mean, this is just plan A.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a fucking. It was a good plan.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give it to them. You know, if you're a
I wish I was
tyrannical
that
piece of shit.
calculated.
And
Yeah.
and the Simpsons predicted it.
They gave us the
I
plan.
just wish I was that calculated in life. Like they already know what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Well, you're one person. There are millions of people. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Millions of people with
With a
millions
lot
of
of
resources.
money.
You have resources upon. I mean, when you talk about endless resources, I mean, there are people in this world whose great grandkids will never have to worry about a dime in their life.
Yeah.
And if they truly believe in a cause that not only will secure that status for their family, but also for their friends and for people who are like-minded, and
They're gonna.
you
they're
can
gonna
subvert,
protect it.
you can subjugate a certain amount of the population.
They're gonna protect it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna fucking
For sure.
do
This
anything
is
in
mostly
their
about
power.
protection.
Yeah.
This is really about protection. You know, a lot of the more people start their own small businesses, the more people start wising up. That puts a potential issue for them and
Yep.
their wealth.
Yeah.
Well, because people like small businesses better. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, people like a Main Street better than a fucking Walmart.
Yeah.
In a barren parking lot.
It's just that friendly face, you know, like
Access.
yeah.
And the
Yeah.
same people that were all supporting Bernie and yelling like,
Oh, boy.
speaking out against Big Pharma, they have nothing to say against Big Pharma right now. That's what.
And
That's
he has nothing to say.
yeah. That's what kills me.
Yeah, because
That's
he's
what-
getting their bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has a price. Unfortunately.
Oh man.
Mine is $1 million, guys. If you want to wire that into my bank account. But yeah, thank you guys very much for coming on. By the way,
Thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
having
Thanks for having us
I
on.
appreciate it very much. If you guys want to plug your Instagrams real quick or any rallies coming up, hit
Yes,
that real quick.
So we got the DC rallies on the 23rd.
And we have We Outside, VVE Outside,
Outside.
IG.
Yep.
We have an apparel. Oh gosh, we're oh my god, I gotta get going because after it's 6 o'clock.
You always reschedule on me, you
Oh
know
my god, I know it's bad. It's
all right.
bad.
It's okay.
But yeah.
I just need to know how much.
New York Freedom
I'll
Rally.
check it out.
Follow New York Freedom Rally too.
Yes.
They organize a lot of the rallies and put a lot out there, and they're your news for this shit because the mainstream media is not gonna really show it. So New York Freedom Rally 2 on Instagram, they're one to follow.
And they are also like a place where a lot of people, and even We Outside is a place where if you're by yourself in this fight, you have people that think just like you. Because I think with this situation, a lot of people have been outcasted from
Yep.
family members and friends
Co-workers.
and co-workers, and
Yep.
the list goes on. And the anxiety is high. And so if you want to be around like-minded people, then that's the place.
For sure.
We got to
Sure.
get you back on, John.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was
a mess.
It was a mess.
The spotty signal. Yeah, we'll get a clean signal.
Let's do it in DC.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that's lit.
that's a good one.
That's lit. Nice.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna be interviewing people in DC because I cannot sit and watch and hear all these.
I'm not gonna be able to do that. Like they're all gonna say stuff that I already know.
Yeah.
And I don't need to really hear it.
Yeah,
I just want to do the protest part.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Wait, are they gonna like walk around?
Yeah, there's a march
It's supposed to be a march.
around.
Oh, it's a march. Okay.
It's both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a.
See, so we gotta be there on time.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like 11:30 in the morning.
to like 3:30 or something, or
Yeah,
3.
you ain't getting home till
Well,
like
11. I got to talk to Kevin because I know what they have on the flyers 11 a.m. at the National Mall. So I'm trying to figure out like is the march first and then the speaking
So what
after.
time should we get there? Like,
I'll talk.
I'll talk. Yeah,
we'll talk.
Pat, we got to find out.
We'll
more.
put it in the group.
Well, if John's gonna ride with me, John. Yeah,
Perfect.
He's coming from Long Island.
he's coming from Long Island to me, and then we're meeting you at Jersey, and then we're all.
Trying to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you guys not doing a hotel?
No, we're not doing the
No.
hotel. I'm driving back.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest
Fire.
with you, Plank. I have this weird vibe about that day.
I feel you.
I'm telling you, man, the feds are gonna be there.
My girl too.
Yeah, I will fight. And honestly, Plank, I think everybody should be really in the perimeters. Nobody engulf into the crowd.
Yes.
Like, stay on your perimeter side.
You know, New York will stick together.
Deadass.
Yeah, because I feel like people use things like that to make a statement.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, thank you all very, very much for coming. And I'll see you guys in DC.
Yeah, absolutely. We outside.
We outside.
thank you so much.
No, thank you guys for coming.